Chevrolet's historic record-breaking NASCAR program has a huge problem. Their current model, the Camaro, is dead. And with the Malibu sedan killed off as well, that leaves the Corvette as the only car left in the Chevy stable. But is the Vette a viable template for NASCAR homologation? Is there a future front-engine Corvette that could better fit the bill? Or does GM need to look to its other brands to battle in America's most popular racing series? Let's use AI technology to take a peek into the future. Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm a huge fan of the Corvette, and I've been lucky enough to own a few of them. I'm also a huge fan of NASCAR. I even attended a couple races this year. On top of that, I'm a Chevy guy. My current favorite NASCAR driver, Ross Chastain, sits behind the wheel of a Chevrolet. And decades ago, I loved Chevy racing so much that I painted my then favorite driver, Dale Earnhardt's Monte Carlo, on my grandpa's barn. So with all of that, it's probably not surprising that I've been obsessively thinking about Chevrolet's current NASCAR dilemma and doing tons of research on the matter. And with a little help from artificial intelligence, I generated concept imagery to illustrate, because for the first time since the 1950s, there's a good chance that the Corvette could return as a NASCAR race car. Now, in case you haven't been following America's most popular racing series, here's a quick rundown to bring you up to speed. NASCAR is light years ahead of the stereotypical image of southern rednecks in stock cars turning left. Nowadays, there's races all across the country and way more road courses than there were in the past. And the cars have gotten much more advanced, requiring huge technical support from the major manufacturers of Ford, Toyota, and of course, Chevrolet. These days, NASCAR race cars have literally nothing to do with their stock counterparts. Only the basic shape, especially in the nose and tail, resembles anything you can buy off a dealer lot. But that's not anything new. The cars in NASCAR haven't been anywhere near stock since at least the Gen 3 era of the early 1980s. So today, just like decades ago, the cars featured on NASCAR circuits are strictly a powerful marketing exercise. An idea sold to an audience of millions that you could buy a car on Monday that won the race on Sunday. Well, kind of. So even though Chevy is killing off its only two mainstream cars, there's no way that General Motors will just leave NASCAR wide open to domination from its competitors at Ford and Toyota. As I see it, there are four viable options for the future of GM in NASCAR. One that's frankly a nightmare scenario. We'll get to that later.
Let's go!
Option 1. Use the current mid-engined C8 Corvette. This seems to be the most obvious solution. The official Corvette Racing sports car team dissolved last year, so NASCAR would be a perfect venue to bring back a factory-supported Corvette race team. There's also strong overlap between older NASCAR fans and prospective new Corvette buyers. The average age of a new Corvette owner hovers around 60 years old, and according to this recent poll, 43% of NASCAR fans are age 45 and above. The problem with this option is the engine placement of the current mid-engine Corvette. NASCAR has strict rules that the engine of their race cars needs to be in the front. But it's not like NASCAR cares that much how closely the drivetrain of the stock car aligns with their race cars. For example, the current Toyota Camry street car is front or all-wheel drive with a hybrid V6, while the racing Toyota, just like the Ford and Chevy NASCAR versions, is rear-wheel drive with a good old pushrod V8. But using a mid-engine car as a basis for a NASCAR racer is something that's never been done before and could be a challenge to pull off. The overall profile of the C8 Corvette, with its long deck and short hood, is the exact opposite of modern NASCAR, where the hood is long and the deck is short. NASCAR wouldn't have a problem with a front-engine Corvette race car, but it would be a tricky balancing act to make it resemble the proportions of the mid-engine street car, while also keeping this Corvette aerodynamically similar to its Toyota and Ford rivals to keep competition close, something that NASCAR does care a lot about. But with some careful tinkering, as you can see in these AI-generated images I made for this video, I think it could be done. Option 2. Use an upcoming Corvette 4-door. That's right, whether you like the idea or not, a Corvette with more than 2 seats is coming soon. According to Car and Driver and sources within GM, the Corvette will become a premium brand name, expanding to a lineup of cars that will include a crossover SUV and a family-friendly 4-door liftback. Whether or not this dilutes the Corvette name is a topic worthy of debate in another video, but it does make good business sense, as sports cars make up less than 2% of the current market. Expanding the Corvette brand would help Chevrolet sell more crossovers, which make up nearly half of all vehicles sold today, and also sedans, which make up 19% of the total market share. Presumably, the four-door would be front-engined for better packaging, and that would make this future Corvette a perfect fit for a NASCAR entry. The family sedan would appeal more towards the NASCAR dad, and marketing it on such a huge stage like NASCAR could definitely boost sales. Plus, the basic profile of a front-engine sedan is a closer match towards the current profile of a NASCAR racer than the C8 would be, so the sedan would be a great option for General Motors. But what if GM wants to expand beyond the Chevrolet name and go with a different brand altogether? That brings us to option 3, use a Cadillac. That's right, Cadillac. While many people still associate Cadillac as an old man's brand famous for luxury land yachts of yore, any new car enthusiast can tell you that over the past few decades, Cadillac has been serious about performance. For example, they already race in the IMSA series. Although Cadillac's small CT4 sedan is also getting killed off, thankfully, there's another car in the stable that would be perfect for NASCAR homologation, the mid-size Cadillac CT5. It'd be even better if they based their NASCAR off the Blackwing Supersport version, as the Blackwing model is actually pretty close to the NASCAR layout. Front engine, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and with a massive V8 that thumps out 668 horsepower, almost exactly what a NASCAR Cup engine makes. God bless America! Plus, just look at the black wing on that Blackwing. Looks just like the traditional NASCAR spoiler. Granted, none of the Cadillac stock pieces would carry over to its NASCAR form, but the closer the car on track mirrors the car you can buy off the showroom floor, the sharper the marketing pitch. And I think this would be a marketing home run. It'd be huge news and free press everywhere if Cadillac entered NASCAR, and it would further help Cadillac shed its bloated luxury boat image of yesteryear. Also, on drafting super speedways like Daytona or Talladega, the Cadillac's flatter nose is also a big advantage over the sharper Corvette. The signature pointy nose of the Vette would make pushing the tail of the car in front of it much more difficult, as the bumper wouldn't line up as square, making wrecks more of a possibility. However, going with Cadillac would mean Chevrolet would lose equity in the top level of a sport that they've been a huge part of ever since the 1950s. While GM has also fielded other brands like Pontiac, Buick, and even Oldsmobile in NASCAR over the years, those brands ran alongside the Chevrolets instead of replacing them. So we'll have to see if the General is bold enough to leave Chevy behind for the Cadillac of NASCAR racing cars. Now, I'd be thrilled with any of those three options replacing the dearly departed Camaro. But now we gotta discuss the fourth option, a crossover SUV. Remember how I mentioned earlier that crossovers are by far the most popular vehicle on the road these days? Well, NASCAR might switch over from the traditional sporty coupe-like profile that it's had for decades to something more like a crossover, such as this thing. What you're looking at is the just revealed electric NASCAR prototype. It's based on the current Cup car chassis, but with all-wheel drive, no internal combustion engine, and for the first time ever in NASCAR, this unusual humpback shape. While this prototype carries a generic-looking crossover body, the photo attached with NASCAR's press release shows that the electric crossovers from Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet would be inspirations. Specifically, Chevrolet's entry would be the Blazer EV, which is a fully electric crossover. Now, this electric prototype is for a proposed new NASCAR Electric Series, kind of like how the electric Formula E Series is an addition to the top-level Formula One. So this EV NASCAR wouldn't replace the gasoline-powered cars of the Cup Series, at least not yet. But for the near future, this prototype demonstrates that NASCAR and their auto manufacturing partners are willing to go beyond the sporty profile and go for the crossover shape that's currently dominating the automotive market. So to replace the Camaro in the NASCAR Cup Series, it's possible that Chevrolet would feature one of its gas-powered crossover models, such as the Trailblazer or the Trax, or maybe even that future Corvette crossover. And because NASCAR cares about aerodynamic parity, that would mean Ford and Toyota would follow suit and feature versions of their gas-powered crossovers as well. While I can appreciate the marketing behind this change, it's just not a direction that I'd be thrilled with. So much of watching NASCAR is watching the cars, and a big appeal to me is how great the current generation of sleek race cars look while circling the track. God bless America. And a boxy crossover shape is just not something I want to look at for hours and hours each season. So here's hoping NASCAR and GM stick with a sports car shape that looks like it can go fast, instead of switching over to a crossover shape that looks like it'd be more adept at moving furniture. But hey, that's just my opinion. Now let's hear from you in the comments below. Would you like to see a Corvette or a Cadillac racing in NASCAR? And any other solutions I haven't thought about? Let me know. I read and respond to every comment I get. And feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos, custom suggested just for you right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.